Hey everyone, it's Chase here with a bit of a weird topic. I wanted to make a video where I go over what I think are the biggest things I need to improve on in Splatoon. While I like to think that I'm good at this game, I'm by no means a top level player, and the things that I'm going to discuss in this video are huge factors as to why that is. Now this might seem like a strange thing to make a video on, because this is something that I could totally just keep to myself. But I thought it would be a good idea to make a video about it, because who knows? Maybe there's other players out there who struggle with the same things, or maybe there's people doing these things who don't even realize it. Either way, I hope this video can help you out in some form. If you enjoy it and want to see more videos like this, be sure to give it a like and consider subscribing. Number 1. Looking at enemy comps before the match starts. Yeah, it's true. Looking at the 4 weapons on the enemy team before the game begins is something that I often overlook in a solo environment. Now, when I'm playing in a competitive match and talking with my teammates, this isn't much of an issue, since you're kind of forced to look at the enemy comp and strategize where each teammate should go. But when I'm playing by myself, such as in Anarchy battles or X-Rank, looking at the enemy comp is just something that I often forget to do, and I'm really not sure why. The fact that the game shows you the 4 opposing weapons at the start is extremely useful information, because this can determine where you position yourself at the beginning and what you should be aware of throughout the match. For example, if the enemy team has an E leader, you might want to consider playing a bit more cautiously at the start compared to if the enemy team just had 4 short-range weapons. The same can be said about a roller or a brush. You know they're most likely going to be sharking, so making a note to yourself at the beginning of the game can keep you more aware, and prevent you from carelessly swimming into them. This is something that every player should do, and it's very wild that I'm still so poor with this. Number 2. Keeping track of when enemies respawn. Now, this one is more of an advanced skill, so we all know that the HUD at the top of the screen gives us extremely important information. It shows us who's alive and who's dead, who has their specials ready, and which team has the advantage. But once an enemy goes down, you need to be mindful of when exactly they'll respawn. I know this sounds kind of obvious, but trust me, this is something that a lot of people, even higher level players, tend to neglect. And that includes me. I do a great job of looking at the top of the screen and seeing who's alive on the enemy team, but once my team has man advantage, I get a little carried away. For example, if I see we have the man advantage, I'll just push up extremely far into enemy territory, and then I'll end up turning my back to their spawn. And since I wasn't keeping track of when an enemy died, they just end up killing me as soon as they respawn because I was distracted with something else. Now, if this isn't something you keep track of either, don't worry too much, because as I said, this is a super advanced skill that separates the good players from the great ones. But it is something you should try and work on the more you play. Number 3. Evading bombs. This one is really specific, but it is something I really need to work on. If you've ever played with me, or just watched my gameplay, it's no secret. Bombs are my weakness in this game. I die to things like Splat Bomb, Fizzy Bomb, Burst Bomb, and Suction Bomb constantly. While the weapons that I use are generally more susceptible to bombs than others, I think another big factor is just me being careless. I often think too fast and end up rushing into things, which bombs can punish very easily. Running 1 to 2 subs of sub resistance can help, but only so much. Just being more aware of the possibility of an enemy throwing a bomb is something that I can really improve on. Number 4. Using my brain. Now this one is very general, but that doesn't mean I can't put it on the list. A lot of times in this game, I simply just don't think. I'll see an enemy, rush them, and then I just die because I didn't notice another enemy was there. Or I'll go for a flank when my team needs help in mid. Now this is something that I feel like I've improved a lot on when transitioning from Splatoon 2 to 3, but it's still one of my biggest weaknesses as a player. Even if I'm using a weapon that naturally dies a lot, that's no excuse to mindlessly rush in and take fights without using my brain. Remember, Splatoon is a game that's really all about positioning. You need to be in the right place at the right time. Mechanics can definitely help you, but only so much. Number 5. Tilt. Of all the things on this list, this is probably the one that the most people can relate to. Splatoon is a very easy game to get tilted at, especially if you're playing ranked. As for me, I'm someone who gets tilted very easily in general. I'll lose just one game and my focus and mental state will go all over the place. In fact, I don't even need to lose a game to get tilted. Even in just a single match, if I get killed by the same person continuously, or my teammates aren't cooperating with me, I start getting mad. And when you're mad, it makes you play worse. You'll rush into things a lot more, not consider the consequences of risky plays, and possibly even aim worse. I think the best way to deal with tilt in this game is to just always remember, this is Splatoon. BS will occur, and no matter how good of a player you are, there are just some things you have no control over. You'll get Anarchy or X Battle Series where you go 0-3, and not one of those 3 losses were your fault. There will be instances where you totally should have killed someone, but due to the game's awful netcode, they'll lag and end up killing you instead. Just remember, BS will happen. That's just part of the Splatoon journey.